Hi, so welcome to a news recipe today. So what we're going to make today is my son's favourite recipe. It's pasta, chicken pasta to be more precise. So as per request, some of you guys asked if we could see the ingredients before we actually put them together. So today we have, so basically for my base, we use 1 red onion, 1 yellow pepper. So again, you guys can vary it. So if you want to use white onions, you can use white, or if you want to use a green pepper, you're more than welcome to use that. We've got 3 green chilies here, and then we've got half a tin of chopped tomatoes. Okay, so that's the base of it. We are going to need sort of 2 tablespoons of hot oil as well, and then that's where we'll sort of cook this in there. Then for the chicken, we have 1 kg of boneless thigh, again chopped into small pieces. And then for the spices, so basically this is my main spice kit and what I tend to use in most of my recipes. So I've got a tablespoon of salt, so heaped tablespoon, black pepper, a heaped teaspoon. So all the rest of them are heaped teaspoons. So that here is the cumin powder. This one is the Garam Masala, Paprika, and then you've got your ground garlic, and that one's ginger. As you probably noticed in most of my dishes, I don't tend to use red chilli. That's not something I use in my cooking for basically because children eat the food. So I tend to use the green chilies more because that's a more sort of milder flavour. So if you guys want to add your red chilli in as well, you can add that in. Again, a heaped teaspoon, and you can use it. So those are basically my main ingredients for that, and we'll show you the pasta and everything in a bit. And for those asking, that's the amount of oil that I use in the wok. So we heat this a little bit, and then what we're going to do to this is add the red onions, the green pepper, the yellow pepper, and the chilies. Okay. Now that the oil's heated, you can see I've added the peppers, the onions, and the green chilies. So what I'm going to do is just let it cook in here. The main objection is basically to get it nice and soft and turn it into like a sauce at this point, and basically get it nice and brown, and so it turns into a sauce consistency. Once it's gone sort of brown, we're going to then add in the tomatoes. So we'll do that in a bit, and I'll show you that. Okay. In the meantime, what we also need to do is get the kettle on boil so we can boil the pasta. So once the kettle's boiled, we'll add the water to an handi and add the pasta to that. So I'll just show you that. Just bear with me. Okay, right, so as you can see now, the onions and the peppers, they're starting to get squishy. So what you can do is just poke them a bit just to basically squish them down. Just make it a bit quicker. As you can see, it's starting to get slightly brown now, but we're not quite ready to add the tomatoes in just yet. Now over in the other pot, we've got the water boiling. So I'm going to use 750 grams of pasta, and we use 2 boiled kettles. So basically I boil the water because it just makes it that quicker for the water to come back to the boil. To this I'm going to add a tablespoon of salt as well, just to give it that little extra oomph. So this is the colour that we want the onions to be. You see, as you can see, they're starting to get slightly brown now and kind of crispy. So what I'm going to do now is add the tomatoes to it, and then just stir it in. You can see it turns into kind of a paste. Okay, so at this point we haven't added any of the spices. It is just the vegetables that we've got in. Okay, now what we're going to do is let this cook for a couple of minutes. can see the water's boiled now. So what I'm going to do now is add the pasta to that. If it starts spitting too much, what you can do is just add a tiny bit of water to it. So, yeah, just like that. Give it a good stir. What that will do is then it will give enough moisture for the onions and the peppers to take in and just start the melting process. Okay. Alright guys, so you can see now this is the consistency we want it. Just make sure that the oil is now on the top of the vegetables. So you can see basically the tadka kind of is ready. So what we're going to now do is add all the spices. So basically just chuck it in like so. And give it a good mix like so. You can turn the heat down again. For all you guys wondering, I usually do cook on full heat because I don't, to be honest with you, I don't have time to be sort of turning it down and leaving it. So for you guys, if you have the time, you want to slow this down, by all means turn the cooker down and do it a slower process. It is entirely up to yourself. Now here I've just turned it down slightly, give it a good mix. Now what we're going to do here is wait until you can sort of smell the spices. Once you can smell the spices, what we're going to do is just give it a couple of minutes. That's a lovely red sauce now. And this is how we're going to sort of make the chicken. Okay. So just give it a good couple of minutes. There we go, that's ready. Now what I'm going to do to that is add the chicken. Okay. So we just add that in. Stir it around and mix the spices into the chicken like so. Again, as I mentioned, full heat. So turn it back up again and full heat and stir it around a bit. Basically mix all the sauce into the chicken. In the meantime, you can see the pasta is boiling. So keep stirring it every sort of couple of minutes just to sort of keep the pasta sort of rotating in the pot. Right, so now this is a really cool dish to hide the vegetables to feed your children. So sometimes what I'll do to the pot of boiling pasta, once the pasta is sort of al dente, I'll add mixed vegetables, frozen mixed vegetables basically, just to give that extra bit of veggie goodness to the children. And as you can see now, the chicken, it's all sort of mixed in. And what we're going to do now is wait basically for the chicken to brown and cook itself. Okay. As you can see now, the chicken is sort of turning a white colour. So from pink it goes that normal cooked chicken white colour. So keep on stirring it. Now what you could do here is put the lid on it just to keep that steaming, so the chicken cooks in its own waters, so you don't have to add water. So I sometimes tend to add a bit of boiled water to it just to make it that quicker. So on this occasion, what I'm going to do is just add a bit of water, like so. Stir it in. Like this. And then put a lid on it. Again, the heat is high. What you could do if you've got more time on your hands is just turn the heat a bit low. So the pasta now is sort of the al dente. In my house we like to have it well done. So basically sometimes the pasta is falling apart. So again, it depends on how you guys like it. So keep it that consistency. I guess I don't need to tell you guys how to boil pasta. But if you guys do need me to make a video for the pasta, how to boil it, do let me know. And this is the chicken sort of simmering in the water. Pop the lid on so it just keeps the steam in and sort of quickens up the cooking process. Just to give it that extra kick, what I usually do sometimes is just add dried methi. So it's kasuri methi, I think it's called, something like that. And basically it's just dried methi. And just add it into, it's about a handful, yeah. And it just gives it that extra bit of greenness. And just add that in. I love the smell of it as well. And then we just again leave that to cook. As you can see, the water is starting to dry up. So once the original water that you've added, what you need to do once is just dry that up and then sort of bunna the chicken. My mum used to say chicken bunina. So that's what we're going to do. So I'll show you guys the process. So at the moment you can see there's still water. So what we need to do now is completely dry this water until you can actually see the oil. Okay. Yeah, so the pasta is ready to be drained. How I usually check it is just take one piece out, and if sort of you press it like this, it crumbles, then you're good to go. So what we're going to do, I always do, so now what we're going to do is just drain the pasta out. There we go, guys, so the pasta's been drained. What I usually do is leave about a cup of the water that the pasta has been boiling in to a side, and just keep that to a side. Alright guys, as you can see now, the water's kind of evaporated and all that's left is sort of the sauce that we had and the oil. Now this is the stage where basically you turn it full gas and basically give it like 3 or 4 minutes and just sort of let it cook in those juices. Okay. Right, there we go, guys. Now the chicken is properly bunyad and sort of the excess water is dried away. And give it a good stir. Right, the way you basically check if your chicken is cooked, again, like I mentioned to yourself, it needs to be sort of this dark white colour rather than the pink that you originally put in. And then the other easier way is just basically use a wooden spoon, and if it sort of easily splits, you're good then. Now what we're going to do now is add this to the pasta. Okay. There we go, we've added it. Remember when we sort of left the water in the pasta a bit as well, so basically it gets that easier to for basically the chicken to coat the pasta, and it gives that bit of extra sauciness. Okay, and there you have it, guys. That's all sort of the pasta mixed in with the sauce. As you can still hear, I've still got the heat on, but give it about a minute or so on the heat after you've sort of mixed it all in. Any excess fluid, it will dry up. And there we have it, guys. That is the finished product. Desi style chicken pasta, one of my son's favourite dishes. Again, any improvements or anything like that, comment below, like and share, like and subscribe, so that you can always get my new dishes when I do post them up, and share them with your friends. And again, as I explained in my first video, I'm not, you know, a trained chef or anything like that. It's just home cooking, how I like to cook, and basically shortcut versions of our lovely Asian dishes. Any improvements, again, like I said, let us know in the comments below. And thank you guys for everybody who's liked, subscribed and shared my channel so far. I love you guys. Take care.